Yeah, I am one of the co-founders of Gearbox Software. I am the chief creative officer for the company, and I am an executive producer on Borderlands 2. At the highest level, this is a story about a nemesis, Jack, who has lured the vault hunters here under false pretenses. And so they're, and you find out, of course, that there's another vault. I mean, it's that's what these kind of heroes are for. They're trying to find out what's going on there, and beat Jack to that. So that's kind of what the overarching sort of story is in the game. But yeah, there's a lot more nuance in what happens with the characters, what you're doing in the environments, how NPCs lead you on different types of missions, and how they each tell their own kind of little mini story as you kind of go through it, each kind of supporting the main story as you go along. So yes, we put a lot of effort towards that, and I think the lines that we had are double, if not triple, the amount of lines that we had from the first game. So we just have a ton more characters and a ton more situations. So it really makes the story that much better. Yeah, really, when it comes down to it, each class is actually new. We have, the Siren makes a appearance again, and she is, she has a different action ability, but we have this sort of class that we want to have throughout all of our games called the Siren, and that's sort of our magic user, sort of science-based magic user, if you will. Then we have, another soldier class, which is, we call it the Commando. And the reason we called it the Commando was to kind of talk a lot about how it would basically be a newer version of what the soldier did. And we put a lot of effort into the turret that he throws out. That's his action ability. And so you can really upgrade the turret, and it can do a lot more than it could do in the past. Then, in addition to that, we have the Gunzerker, which is a lot like the Berserker that we had before. We've kind of amped that up as well. And so this time what you have is somebody who is able to dual wield. That's their action ability. So it really fosters the idea of the weapons and finding weapons in the game and using them in a really cool, action-y way. And then, of course, we have Zero, who is our assassin character. So we had in the past, we had the sniper class, the hunter, that was Mordecai. So this is sort of an enhanced version of that, and so we call him the assassin. And he has a really cool ability to kind of do a distraction for people, and then get the enemies to focus on him, and then he's able to run around them and backstab them or attack them from a different position. Well, anytime you have a sequel like a game like Borderlands 2, what you have is you have to have things that are familiar to the players. You have to have things that they're interested in doing. We have the same world. We're getting to see more of the world. We're getting to see more diverse locations. There's a lot more color in the world. There's a lot more creatures. The weapons are different. I mean, so everything has been sort of 2.0'd, if you will. So we kind of joked around as we were developing. It's called Borderlands 2. So how do you update it? So we would say, okay, so this feature needs to be 2.0. And so what would we do with that? Whether it's vehicles, improving vehicle driving, whether it's the weapons, whether it's, for example, the badass points. This is a way that we can, improve on the RPG element so that players can carry their information, basically upgrade stats, but be able to take them from character to character. So that was really important to us, so that there's some sort of continuity as you change from character to character in multiple playthroughs, that there's some piece of growth that you're really happy to keep around. Yeah, all of your, like I was saying, the badass points carry over between all your playthroughs, whether you're playing with friends or you're playing by yourself. And your character's persistent as well. So if you were playing as an assassin, single player and then decide to go into a co-op game and then jump back into a single player game, then any of the missions and things like that that you've unlocked, weapons that you find, all of that would continue. And then we have this other thing, which is the stash, which is kind of like a bank for your characters. And that, so if you find an object that maybe is, for a different class than yourself, but you don't want to lose it, it's really good and really rare, you can save it in your stash and use it when you later want to play as that character. Or if you have a friend who's playing as that character, then you can, take it out of there and give it to them if you want. So those are some of the elements that make both co-op and single player really fun and work well together. Yeah, Borderlands 2 is an exceptional game to play with your friends. It's a great co-op game, but we've also put a lot of effort towards making the single-player game really good as well. So, last time we got a little bit of complaints that, hey, maybe the game was a little bit lonely and that sort of thing. With the NPCs and the efforts that we've applied to making the NPCs that much more dynamic and interesting in what they do in the environments and the way they talk to you as you're running around the world, it's a much more high-quality single-player experience as well as such a great co-op experience. It's going to be released on September 21st, and it will be on the Xbox 360, PS3, and PC.